Coming up, a fire broke out at the Foothill Gardens apartments near campus. We'll hear from the girl who lives there and find out what caused the fire.
And although we've had a little rain, some places are still having to use to conserve water during this drought. We'll find out how one Central Coast landmark is dealing with the drought.
And we'll take you live to the University Union where the wrestling team is having their first outdoor match later today.
Broadcasting from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, you're watching Mustang News.
Good afternoon, Cal Poly. I'm Eden Elisage.
And I'm Jenna Brown. You're watching our weekly broadcast of Mustang News. Thanks for joining us.
According to a report made earlier this month by the White House Council for Women and Girls, 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted in college, but only 12% choose to report it. At Cal Poly, only 3 instances of sexual violence were reported between 2010 and 2012, according to the university's annual Clery statistics. Under the Clery Act, UPD only has to report crimes that occur on campus and its surrounding areas, as well as off-campus property owned by the school. Some say this may exclude student crimes that happen in other locations from being reported, crimes like sexual assault. University Police Chief George Hughes says in 2014, some changes will be made to the report to include more of what Cal Poly does to prevent sexual violence. Cal Poly Safer is a resource for students to address these issues and offers education and counseling for those affected by sexual assault. Cal Poly students received an email on Wednesday afternoon saying that a student had presumed case of chickenpox. They are still waiting on a laboratory confirmation. The student lived in Poly Canyon Village and did attend 2 days of classes. They are now home. Cal Poly Health Service wants students to be aware of chickenpox symptoms. Those include fever, coughing, and rashes on the scalp and body that can spread. Health Services recommends taking 2 doses of chickenpox vaccine for protection.
A fire broke out in an apartment complex near campus Monday night. The fire started at about 7:30 in a Foothill Gardens apartment. Agriculture and Environmental Plant Sciences junior Marissa Lim was in the apartment when the fire broke out in the kitchen.
So I was trying to fry chicken and I was boiling oil, and when I put the chicken in, the oil splashed out and the burner caught fire, and I couldn't turn off the stove or remove it from the fire, so I called 911.
The San Luis Obispo Police Department, Fire Department, and CAL FIRE all responded to the fire. There were no reported injuries. The fire department says it'll be months before Lynn can move back in.
The Central Coast is famous for sunny skies, beaches, college culture, and endless shops for tourists. But that's not the only thing that attracts people to the Central Coast. Events such as Mardi Gras, Cesar Chavez Day, St. Patrick's Day, and 4th of July are holidays when the Central Coast sees most of its out-of-town visitors. San Luis Obispo Police Captain Chris Staley says that out-of-towners are a big cause of disruption during San Luis Obispo events.
A lot of the people we communicate with and that we actually arrest were from out of town and not necessarily from either living locally or attending college here locally.
Captain Staley says that during these time frames, fines are doubled, and the department initiates what's called a max deployment, where any and all available officers are placed on duty and are out patrolling the streets.
After surviving a plane crash while traveling with the 1960 football team, Cal Poly grad Billy Ross died at age 78. The plane crash killed 16 Cal Poly teammates. Ross spent 7 months in a Toledo hospital after the crash while recovering from severe burns. He returned to Cal Poly and graduated in 1963, then became a high school teacher and football coach. Ross died in Bakersfield after suffering from a long-term illness last week. The Cal Poly men's basketball team will hold a moment of silence on Thursday before their game.
California's drought is taking its toll on a local landmark. Christina Vavuzzi heads out to Hearst Castle to see how they're conserving water.
Looking forward to summer and thinking this is going to be a really bad summer, so we really got to start our water conservation in earnest right now.
350,000 gallons of water. That's how much the Neptune pool at Hearst Castle normally holds, but it's about 3 feet lower than usual.
We're draining the Neptune pool right now for water conservation and to use that water for irrigation purposes.
Governor Brown's declaration of a drought emergency has pushed funds and efforts forward to repurpose the water in Hearst Castle's iconic pool.
This is the drain for the Neptune pool, and we've hooked up the hose here so that the hose now connects to the irrigation system, and then that irrigation system can water the plants and hopefully keep them strong enough to survive through the summer.
But Franco says they're making the best out of a bad situation. Draining the pool will allow them to make repairs to the leaking pool.
We'll lose 3,000 to 5,000 gallons on a given day, up to maybe 10,000 gallons in a day.
A conservator will clean the mineral buildup off the statues and marble, and the cracks in the bottom will be repaired. Full or empty, the Neptune pool remains open to visitors. At Hearst Castle, Christina Favuzzi, Mustang News.
To refill the pool, Franco says the Central Coast needs to get a lot of rain and finish making those repairs. The hope is to have it filled by the end of next year.
Coming up on Mustang News, students enjoy the Cal Poly Recreation Center daily, but one of the main attractions is closed for winter quarter. We'll show you what's closed and why.
Plus, find out how a Cal Poly student is getting 300,000 people to use his app.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You're on your way to meet up with friends, but you can't seem to get anywhere quickly. You don't want your friends to be annoyed, so you text. You're on your way. Five seconds is the average time your eyes are off the road while texting while driving. Make sure you get where you're going.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
Students in the College of Liberal Arts could soon see a rise in tuition. The university is hosting open forums for students to ask questions and share their opinions about the college-based fee. The fee would be an increase of $112 for full-time students and $56 for part-time students. This would make all student fees the same throughout all 5 colleges. College of Liberal Arts Dean Doug Epperson wants to see the money go to programs the college had in the past.
Travel to conferences and competitions, for student assistantships, for instructional equipment.
Students will vote on the fee during the week of February 24th. If passed, the fee increase would take effect fall of 2014.
The new course planning tool, Polyplanner, launched yesterday. Polyplanner helps students map out the courses they need to take by showing them what courses they have already taken and what courses they need to take to complete their major. The courses they still need to take can be dragged and dropped into future quarters that the students plan to take them. Polyplanner also will provide the university with course demand information, so the university has a better idea of what courses to offer. Those who have used Polyplanner so far like it.
It's really helpful because it tells the school what classes you're planning on taking, and that way they can get your classes available for you.
For any questions on how to use Polyplanner, contact the Mustang Success Center.
This is now the 3rd winter the Cal Poly Recreation Center has been open to students, but students will not be enjoying one of the center's most popular attractions this winter quarter. Mustang News reporter Brianna Whitney finds out why.
I feel like our tuition money, part of it is going to the rec center, and I like to lay out and tan, and I also like to swim.
It's 80 degrees and students are exercising in the lap pool, but take a look at the other side. The leisure pool is a completely different picture.
And we didn't have any closures those first 2 winters, and it felt like a big waste of money. We had a couple of weeks even where we only had a handful of people the entire week.
Aquatics and Safety Coordinator Staley McCartney says that lack of use prompted the close for winter quarter.
And I understand if it is bad weather, but since we've been back winter quarter, it's been 80s.
And with record sunshine, students say it seems the recreation center would make an exception for a winter that feels like summer. But it isn't a simple process.
It really needs to be at least a 2-week opening. Staffing isn't an issue, but chemical heating and heating up the pool is the issue for that, because it takes at least 2 to 3 days to heat up the pool enough.
Of course, Avila and Pismo Beach are only a quick drive down Highway 101, but students say it's the leisure pool's convenience that makes it ideal for taking that quick dip.
It's closer, it's walking distance. That's like one of the main benefits.
But if you've been planning on soaking up the rays in the pool during springtime, you're still in luck.
Yes, oh yes. Spring quarter, we are open for sure, because that is our busiest time.
Brianna Whitney, Mustang News.
Now the leisure pool is open some Thursdays through Sundays this quarter, depending on if the Recreation Center staff deems the weather good enough. McCartney also says she encourages students to fill out the comments and suggestion forms in the rec center, and if enough students express opinions about reopening the leisure pool for this quarter, that would be considered.
An ASI committee is debating how to spend the money generated by the student success fee. It includes one representative from each college. The committee is trying to allocate money to added classes, staff, and projects promoted by ASI representatives. The money they want to spend is more than the fee generates, so there is debate on what to spend it on. One item the committee can't change is salaries for teachers and administrators. Representative Connor Paquin hopes that the budget will be done by this Friday.
Those were where the money specifically is going, not just general, but specifics, making sure everyone's aware of it, everyone has the opportunity to voice their concern, and then making sure that everyone's educated about the fee.
When the committee comes up with the final proposal, it will go to President Armstrong for approval.
A Cal Poly freshman has created an app with more than 300,000 users worldwide. Cameron Olson has created 7 apps with his friend Anthony Basta under the company Rumble Apps. Olson created Rumble Apps with Basta in the 9th grade.
So the first step of the process really that I think is the idea, which we think is kind of the hardest part, because there are so many apps in the App Store, so it's kind of a diluted market.
Their current most popular app, Paper Helper, allows users to research and write a paper in the same window on an iPad. Users can seamlessly switch between a document writer program and a web browser window, or have them both open at the same time. Olson also created VidBit, a mobile video sharing app that gained more than 2 million users in 2 weeks, but decreased in popularity when Snapchat added a video feature. You can find both apps in the App Store.
The campus was full of blazers and suit ties this week for the Winter Career Fair. Students had the opportunity to network with companies and potentially snag that job for the future. Students came prepared and dressed to impress. Apple, Cisco, Yelp, and newcomer Nest are among the few companies offering more than 300 total positions to students. Additional interviews run into Friday.
Take a look at the employers coming, and really if the students can know what they're sort of gearing towards and which companies they really want to talk to, they can tailor their resume for that.
For tips on how to prepare for the Spring Career Fair on April 16th and 17th, visit Career Services.
There's a new way for students to connect with potential employers on campus. CollegeFeed.com is a free job market and career advice website that operates similar to social media websites. Students can create a resume-like profile that will either be approved or denied within 24 hours. Once students are approved, companies they expressed interest in will start contacting them. Most companies on the website specialize in technical majors, but Director of Career Services Martin Shibata hopes that will change.
I want to create a new base of employers that want non-technical majors. Students who are in the College of Liberal Arts, students that are in the College of Science and Math.
The website is mainly geared towards students ready to start a career, but Shibata encourages students of all years to apply.
Last week, the Central Coast beaches saw cold and heavy winds from an offshore storm in the Pacific, which caused large swells coming to the shore. These larger and longer-lasting waves are called forecast runners. Last week, swells reached more than 6 feet and were lasting up to 30 seconds. PG&E meteorologist John Lindsay says that these long-period swells produce riptides and cause a hazard to swimmers and surfers.
Because you swim parallel to the beach, you'll reach the current where it's actually coming in, right? But never try to swim against a rip current. You'll always lose.
Lindsay says that one of the most dangerous areas to be when forecast runners are happening is the northwestern shore of Montana de Oro. PG&E posts the surf advisory for the day on their website every morning. And here's a look outside at the University Union. We're finally seeing some rain here on the Central Coast. After the break, Lisa Diaz will have your full weather report.
And coming up, Cal Poly's men's basketball team is coming to play a tough game series. Find out who they're playing next.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this for his sake.
Have you already enrolled? So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine. What did that just do? Select the drop-down menu again. Wait. So you're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is. Oh my God! I really can't believe it. That's awesome. Good for you.
And now we go to weather reporter Lisa Diaz for your weekly weather forecast. Will there be some rain this weekend, Lisa?
Thank you, Jenna and Eden. You know, it's really kind of up in the air at this point. I know that we just saw the story about the leisure pool. You might not want to use it this weekend because temperatures are definitely going to be cooling down into the 60s, more of a California winter. So there is a chance of rain. We're about 10-20%. Like I said, it's getting slightly cooler, highs in the low 60s, and it will be sunny over the weekend, just a little bit chilly. Now we're going to move on to our map for today. Let's take a look at Paso Robles up north. It's 64 degrees. So like I said, mid-60s. Atascadero, 61. Out on the coast in Los Osos, 61 degrees. San Luis Obispo, 62. So kind of similar between coast and inland. And then down in Santa Maria, it's 61. So like I said, pretty consistent across the Central Coast. Now we're looking at our 5-day forecast. What can we expect this weekend? Thursday, we have a high of 62. And then we have on Friday a high of 64, so just a 2-degree increase. Then on Saturday, 66, getting a little warmer, nice and sunny. Then Sunday, like I said, that's the highest chance of rain is going to be on Sunday. And then moving on to Monday, it's going to be a high of 68. And that's all for weather. Thank you so much.
All right, so we're joined.
Okay. And we're coming back with sports after the break.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine. What did that just do? Select the drop-down menu again. Wait. So you're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is. Oh my God! I really can't believe it. That's awesome. Good for you.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
All right, welcome back. We've got Kim Westland here in the studio to tell us what's going on in the world of Cal Poly sports.
We've got a lot going on this week, so let's get started with our wrestling. The Castle brothers will be competing in an outdoor wrestling match in the University Union later today. The Mustang News reporter Lisa Diaz got a chance to catch up with them and hear their family story.
Down by 6, and they'll have the last shot, theoretically. Down by 6, and they'll have
my brother,
theoretically.
he's really good. He can ask anybody in the room.
He's just a good person, nice person. He's always been there for kids on the team. He'll always be there for me and always be there for like family and whatever comes his way.
Two different personalities, but both serious about the sport, both very good students. It's great for our program.
Two of Cal Poly's wrestlers to watch this season have more in common than their quick ability to pin the opponent on the mat. Blake and Dominic Castle, both aiming for a national championship, share the same parents. Dominic, in his junior season, says having his brother Blake on the team took him back to his roots.
Brought us back to, the good old days when we used to wrestle in the garage together and just go at it. And it didn't matter where we were, what kind of facility we had. It was just that we had each other and we were going to push each other hard.
The Castle family is made up of die-hard wrestlers.
I don't know. It's just something in our blood. We're really intense. The competition in wrestling is like none other.
And being a Mustang is also in the Castle blood.
Both my parents came here.
Like in the ag building right now, there's pictures of them with cows and sheep and all that stuff. So it's funny walking through the building and seeing them. But I think it's more of a coincidence that we all ended up here. Me and Dominic, they gave us options to go anywhere we wanted to, anywhere, and they were going to support us no matter what. But it just felt right coming here.
Blake looks up to his older brother and constantly uses his strengths as motivation.
I say his mind, because he's never he'll look tired, gassed out completely, barely be able to move, and he can still score points.
They're good for each other. They both want to outdo one another, which, is always good, when you have brothers on the team, because that's natural.
Lisa Diaz, Mustang News.
The Castle brothers hope to use today's meet against nationally ranked Oregon State to gain momentum in winning a Pac-12 championship. The Cal Poly men's basketball team will take the court tonight in front of the home crowd for the first time since their loss to rival Long Beach State. The team has been on the road for the past 2 games, winning at Cal State Fullerton, but losing to UC Riverside 61-58. Tonight's game is against UC Davis, who is coming off of a tough 90-73 loss at home to Hawaii.
Davis is a good team, and they have a tendency to play to the end of the game, and they play hard. So, we have to come out and execute our game plan.
Although the Cal Poly men's basketball team is also coming off of a tough road loss, the team is 4-2 overall in conference play, putting them in 2nd place. Cal Poly will also go on to play UC Irvine, who is currently in 1st place, in Mott Gym this Saturday at 8 p.m. This will be the Mustangs' first blackout game, so make sure to come show your support while dressed all in black. For students unable to make it to the game, they can watch it live on ESPNU. After 2 weeks of on the road, the men's tennis team is set for their first home match of the season. The Mustangs will play Nevada at home this weekend. They beat Nevada 4-3 last year in what was a deciding match. Head coach Nick Carlis says the team has had a tough start due to injuries, but it has given other players a chance to gain experience, which has helped the team overall.
Having a great tennis team requires a lot of depth in your roster, and your number 1 player has to be just as confident as your number 6 player. So while I think early in the year it's been tough not having the full team healthy, I think in the long term it's going to be good for us. So.
The Mustangs are currently ranked 0-4 in dual matches, and you can catch this match this Saturday at 11 a.m. at the Cal Poly tennis courts. The Cal Poly women's basketball team will go on the road starting this week for 2 road games. Cal Poly women's basketball team is looking strong, coming off of a 3-game winning streak going into the 2 games this weekend. The team won their last game at home 89-72 against UC Riverside. The team will play their first game tonight against UC Davis at 7 p.m. UC Davis is coming off of a tough 64-50 road loss to Hawaii. The Cal Poly women's basketball team is 5-1 in conference play, putting them in first place and is undefeated at home this season. The team will then travel to UC Irvine for a matchup this Saturday at 2 p.m. The Mustangs are back on the diamond. The Cal Poly baseball team opened practice last Friday and is gearing up for the 2014 season. After 40 wins, an NCAA regional playoff berth, and finishing second in the Big West Conference last year, the Mustangs are looking to accomplish all that and more this season.
This year, having that bitter taste in our mouth after last year, we want to win the whole regional, move on to the super regionals, and then hopefully in the end make it to the College World Series. But that all starts with winning the Big West, and that's our main priority right now.
Junior Matt Imhoff is taking over the Friday night pitching slot as the Mustangs are setting up the rest of their pitching staff with sophomore Casey Bloomquist and freshman right-handers Justin Calamini and Slater Lee. With 19 players returning from last year, head coach Larry Lee says the Mustangs will be much more experienced defensively. After the home opener on February 14th, the Mustangs travel to UCLA the following week to take on the defending College World Series champions on their home turf.
And after the break, we'll take a look at what's going on in the world of Polywood.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. We are joined by Aaron Bandler in the studio to tell us what's going on in Polywood.
All right, thanks Eden and Jenna. The Winter White Tour is making a stop at Cal Poly tomorrow. The show is headlined by Steve Aoki, an American electro house musician. He is known most for remixing popular music like Turbulence. The Winter White Tour is a national tour concert that gives its fans a lifelike snowstorm experience. A laser show in all white and winter environment reimagines a winter wonderland. The show will take place at the Rec Center. The sold-out show starts at 7 p.m. Cal Poly's Orchestra's Dance Company is performing their 44th annual concert Vitality this weekend. The show will feature 13 pieces by faculty, guests, and student choreographers. Orchestra students collaborated with dancer and guest choreographer Douglas Nielsen for one piece in the show.
The way he had his concept and the way we created the dance, because it's much more personal, like all of us had to create our own solos based off of artwork he gave us. So we use the artwork to kind of inspire our movement.
The company has been rehearsing for this performance since they auditioned to join the group in September. Dance styles in this year's show include contemporary, ballet, jazz, modern, and hip-hop. The tickets are available at packslow.org. One moment. The pack was filled with aspiring performers at KCPR's open mic night on Wednesday.
Usually we just ask for a black and white drum.
Musicians, singers, stand-up comedians, and slam poets were among the 20 acts to take the stage. KCPR streamed the show on their website for the first time, and they hope to make the open mic night a quarterly event. You can hear some of the performances from the show during KCPR's radio broadcast. And that's your Polywood Minute for this week. Hope you'll have a great weekend. Back to Eden and Jenna at the desk.
And that's it for our show. Thanks for watching.
Oh my God.